Okay.
Thank you very much, Alas Corda, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on this motion tonight. And I certainly agree with part of the motion that says that the huge number of mortgages in arrears is a very worrying thing indeed. We have 140,000 families out there across the country that are currently suffering the stress of being in arrears with their mortgage. And it's not only hard for them to make their mortgage payments, it also means that they've got less to spend on groceries, less to spend on their children's needs and the like. But it doesn't only impact on their bank balances, it also impacts on their family relationships and their own mental health. So whenever we debate this issue in the House, we need to be mindful of the effect that this is having an impact on people's lives across every single facet of that life. As Deputy O'Sullivan said earlier, you know, there's a historical resonance to this in Irish society. We are all aware of the impact of the famine in 2 centuries ago, the impact of people being thrown out onto the road, the impact of people having to emigrate throughout the last 2 centuries from this country. So we're very, very well aware of that and very concerned that we do everything we can to keep people in their houses. And it does gall me, I have to say, to see that it's Fianna Fáil that's putting down this motion before us here tonight, and that they're trying to take the high moral ground on an issue that really they did help to create in the first instance. For too long, when they were in power, they allowed lax financial regulation govern our banks. And of course this led to cheap money flooding the market. And they took no action at all. As Deputy O'Sullivan said, they took no action at all when banks started to lend 100% mortgages. They didn't take any action when banks were given 2 or 3 credit cards to individuals, regardless of the amount of money that they were earning, regardless of the amount of money that they were repaying. And when people tried to shout out and say, stop, this is going too far, it was your leader of the time. He got some useful advice from Deputy McGrath, hadn't he? He told them, what did he tell them to do with themselves? What was it, his exact words again? I can remember. I won't repeat them in here because you know exactly what he said. And for you to come into this House tonight and tell us that we're doing something wrong when you guys got us into this mess. You guys got those 140,000 families out there into this mess. It does gall me a little bit because I know, you know, I know people in my constituency who are hurting because of this. I do. I've met people who have been given huge mortgages that really there was never a chance that they would be able to repay, who are now trying desperately to stay in those homes, desperately to keep a roof over their families' heads. And you know, the government, we're very well aware of this. We're trying to clear up your mess. And we know how difficult it is for them. And we have done some things. We've introduced a number of schemes to try to make things better. We've introduced the Insolvency Service of Ireland. That was introduced on the 1st of March of this year. We introduced the Mortgage to Rent scheme, which was referred to by other deputies. That's now available across the country. And we've also put in place a mortgage advisory function. And there has been some good news, limited albeit, but some good news. The central bank figures for March, they show us that almost 80,000 mortgage holders have been restructured, and that most of these are now meeting the terms of their restructured arrangements. So I think that's welcome to hear that. And over the coming weeks, we're going to get further reports from the banks outlining what they're doing to make sure that they restructure mortgages and make sure that they try to keep families in their houses. And if the figures are lower than we want, then we will tell them that it's unacceptable, because we've set the banks a target, we've put money into the banks. We expect them to deliver, the Irish people expect them to deliver, and we'll be keeping a close eye on them to make sure that we keep as many people as possible in their homes. Thank you very much.
I call now on Deputy Arthur Spring.